Hello, lovely souls. Welcome. My name is Marley, and I am a clairvoyant empath Reiki master. I also specialize in past life readings, and today I'm going to share a channeling on crystal children because I myself am a crystal child, and so I'm both speaking from experience and speaking from the channeling that comes through in this video. Whenever I do these kinds of channelings like this, I learn a lot myself from doing these channelings. It's like opening up the doors for new information to come through. So some of this information I already know, and some of it is going to be very new information. But yeah, we will see. And there may be a bit of an element of incarnations, past incarnations, that is included here, because for those of you who are new to my work, I tend to view the soul as eternal. And so when I am doing a reading for someone, I will just pick up on the eternal essence of that being, and I'll pick up on the past incarnations of that person. And so as I'm doing this channeling for the crystal children, I am also going to be picking up on kind of the general collective incarnations that crystal children experience, why they may have come down to earth, what kinds of incarnations they signed up for, and how that is related to them being a crystal child now, and what is a crystal child in the first place. So we're going to get all into that. Before we do that, though, I do want to let you guys know that there will be an extended healing and activation, and it's going to be focusing on activating your crystalline energy signature. So this is assuming that those of you who are watching this video are crystal children. If you are not a crystal child, but you know a crystal child, I highly recommend still watching this video. Just know I'm going to be speaking to the camera like I'm speaking to crystal children. That being said, there is an extended video, and it's going to be activating the crystalline energy signature, assisting the crystal child in cleansing their emotional water body, and it's going to be assisting the crystal child in really anchoring in that crystalline energy template that we're going to talk about in just a moment. And you know, let's just get straight to it. Because I just feel like there's so much about crystal children out there. But some of the things that I have channeled is very unique, and I'm really excited to share what has come through for me. So the simple explanation for crystal children is that crystal children have an energetic aura that is crystalline. And so if someone can see auras and is reading a crystal child, they're likely going to pick up on kind of a clear auric field, an auric field that looks crystalline. When I see the crystalline aura, I'll also see sort of like the crystalline shapes, like it looks like a crystal, like the auric field looks like a crystal. You know how it's kind of geometric, so, but it's clear. And so that is what is unique about crystal children auras. And they also are most likely born around the 90s, 2000s, although this isn't so much speaking from my own channeling there. I don't really get specific time periods of when the crystal children are born, but I see it more in waves. So it's kind of like, you know, the indigo children come first, and then the crystal children and then the rainbow children, and it's just wave, wave, wave. I haven't picked up on very specific time periods, but it's generally 90s, 2000s about. But there is definitely some channeling that I've gotten that the new age children, indigos, crystals, rainbow children all have original templates that are kind of like the new blueprint for humanity. And so this means that these new children coming in right now are kind of like the template for 5D consciousness. These templates, and I actually would like to explain what I mean when I say template, because what happens is when a soul chooses to incarnate as a crystal child, they incarnate with a crystalline template, a crystalline auric field. So this crystalline auric field is actually, what I have channeled, is actually a crystalline water body. So for the crystal children, what makes them unique is that their water bodies are crystalline. And I've done the most channeling about the crystal children, and that's why I'm making this video on the crystal children. I have not had clear channeling yet on the rainbow children and the indigo children, but essentially each of the different children are born into this life with a specific template. And the idea here is, what I've been seeing is that over time, as humanity continues to evolve, there are going to be more and more and more templates that souls can incarnate into, and eventually it will be kind of a utopia of all these different templates, and depending on the template that a soul will incarnate into, that's kind of going to set the course of the mission that that soul has in that lifetime. And so that's kind of like where humanity is headed right now. But so right now we have indigos, crystals, and rainbow children. And I believe diamond children will be coming in soon too. But yeah, so back to crystal children. Crystal children are special because they have crystalline water bodies. And a water body is like the eternal sentient body that moves with us from lifetime after lifetime. It is the sentience and it is eternal. And I work a lot with the water body because water holds memory, and the water body is where all of the memory imprints from all of our past lives are stored. All of the wounding, and in this life as well. All of the emotional wounds, it's where emotions are stored. It's where it is the body of emotions and the body of memory. And so when you tap into your water body, you're actually going to be tapping into the part of yourself that is an emotional healer. And so crystal children are innately emotional healers because they have crystalline water bodies. And so what makes these crystal children even more unique is that their auric fields are clear. And this makes it so that they are kind of chameleons to their environment. And one of the things that crystal children can really struggle with is they can struggle with picking up on memory imprints in everything, everywhere they go, because they have a very activated and pure water body. They have the purest water bodies, and so they will pick up on the memory imprints of everything and everyone everywhere they go. And so they are extreme empaths, and they can tend to be overwhelmed or overstimulated. So if you're a crystal child, you might experience being very easily overstimulated by your environment, by anything that is low frequency. It can be a lot. And what's happening is that your auric field is actually picking up on the memory imprint, and it absorbs it. And it actually doesn't just absorb it. Think of water. Think of how water works. Water will adapt to the energy. So think about, there is a study that was done with water where there was different music that was played next to water, and then the scientists studied the molecular structure of the water, and it changed with the different sounds or the different music that they played. And so that's kind of what happens to crystal children. They're very adaptable to their environment, which can be really beneficial, because it's really easy for people to feel comfortable around a crystal child. It's really easy for a person to open up to a crystal child, because the crystal child will match them. They'll match their frequency. But the crystal child also has to be very careful, especially if the crystal child doesn't really know themselves, or isn't centered and isn't strong in their own energy. The crystal child will actually, it's like they're picking up on the memory imprints of everything around them. But if they have a strong auric field, it's going to be because they have a strong understanding of what their own essence feels like. So crystal children are very, very, very emotional. They're very emotionally intelligent. In order to become a crystal child, a soul must go through rigorous training to be ready for the crystalline template, because it's a really big deal. It takes a very wise soul to be able to hold a crystalline water. It takes a really wise soul to be able to hold a crystalline water body in this reality. And that's because the soul needs to be very emotionally evolved. They need to be very, not just emotionally evolved, but just very, very emotionally intelligent. So let's see. So crystal children, it's gonna look differently depending on who you are, what kind of crystal child that you are. It's going to look differently on how that manifests. But what all crystal children have in common is that they have this crystalline water body. How that manifests, though, is going to look different for each crystal child. Some crystal children are going to be, like me, very, very, very connected to past lives. They're going to have a really innate gift for memory, because that is what they signed up for. So think about all the elements of having a crystalline water, of having a really pure water body. Think about water and the elements of water: emotions, empathy, memory. So some people are going to have the strong ability to tap into their memory. They're going to have that strong innate gift for tapping into their past lives. Other crystal children will have more of a stronger and innate gift, they'll have a strong innate gift for empathy, for emotional healing, for even sexuality. they might have a strong innate gift around kind of it around just uplifting people, bringing people up, helping people feel good. And they also think about channeling water. Water is a channel. Channel is a word that we use for water. And so crystal children, some will also have a really strong gift for channeling. And so depending on who you are, you might have a strong gift in all three of those things, or you might be kind of stronger in one of the things than the other. And it's just because of what you signed up for as a crystal child, and what that means for you. And it also has a lot to do with the training that you experienced and the lifetimes you may have experienced prior to this one that kind of dictates what you're ready for in this current life. But I would say that no matter what, all crystal children have some innate gift for memory, remembering that they are more than this one lifetime. All crystal children have an innate gift for empathy. All crystal children have an innate gift for channeling. They all have that innate gift. You just might have it stronger in different areas depending on who you are and what your soul mission is. So I'm just reading the questions that I wrote out. So, how do crystal children serve humanity? Crystal children serve humanity in the sense that they are emotional healers, but it's not even so much that their work is really even on the physical. Like, a lot of their work is very non-physical. And crystal children serve humanity in so many different ways, but I think in the biggest way it's going to be crystallizing other people's water bodies. When someone connects with a crystal child, they are crystallized. That someone who a crystal child is engaging with in any way, or even just in the presence of, a crystal child can just like walk down the street and they just walking by someone, that person that they're walking by, their water body will begin to crystallize. And so that's one of the ways that crystal children can serve humanity, is that just interacting with the world, just interacting with people, they crystallize. They're crystallizing the water body of the planet, of the people around them. And I think that crystal children might struggle a lot with feeling like they need to do things. They might struggle a lot with feeling like they need to keep up with the norms of society. Go, 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 go. But for a crystal child, literally just being is so important. Like, just their mere existence on this planet is monumental. And I think that a crystal child might have difficulty because their work is very much working with the waters, working with the emotional body, which is very feminine, very divine feminine, which is, the divine feminine has been suppressed forever. This is the rise of the divine feminine. The crystal children are a huge part of this rise of the divine feminine. They are such a deep embodiment of the divine feminine. Whether they're masculine or feminine, they are working with emotions, which is very feminine. So crystal children actually have, like, one of the greatest impacts that they have on this planet is actually through the work that they do internally and just their mere existence. So another thing is that crystal children, because they are emotional healers, they will come into they will choose to incarnate into specific families, into specific environments where there is karma to be cleared. And it's also because they will even accumulate karma throughout many lifetimes to clear it. So crystal children actually have a habit of choosing to incarnate into multiple lifetimes that are really heavy and really dense and really dark, because they specialize in clearing karma. They specialize in that emotional healing. And so that means that when they incarnate with the crystalline energy template, with the crystalline water body, I want to say they don't really have a choice but to do that inner work. You always have a choice. But it's almost like it would be way too painful not to do the inner work. The crystal child is like really pulled to do the inner work because they have such a high crystalline frequency. Okay, so I also wrote, what struggles might a crystal child face? And the first word that's coming to mind is sensitivities. So crystal children can be extremely sensitive to toxins in their environment. So to give an example on the sensitivities that a crystal child has and why they might be really sensitive is think about a really harmful substance that someone might ingest. Let's see, like something toxic. I can't think of anything right now, but when a crystal child ingests something that might be toxic, they're not just experiencing the repercussions of ingesting the toxic chemical or whatever it is. They also experience the repercussions of the memory imprint of that toxic chemical. And so if it's really low vibrational, it's gonna have a really intense effect on that person, on the crystal child, more than an average person. So crystal children often need to eat very cleanly. They often need to be just really, really careful about their sensitivities. Some crystal children are going to be a lot more sensitive to foods and things like that than others, but generally crystal children deal with pretty intense sensitivities no matter what. It just will manifest differently, but it all comes down to memory imprints. So yeah, think about that. Think about contrast, and how if a crystal child ingests something that has a really low vibrational frequency, it's like a super intense contrast to their crystalline water body, their crystalline aura. And that makes it a lot more jarring and painful. So yeah, so that's something that a crystal child it's good for crystal children to be aware of, that because they might be like, why am I experiencing this? And it's all memory imprints. It's all emotional. It's all having that heightened water body, being able to feel everything. A lot of things I'll read about the crystal children will say that crystal children are often diagnosed as autistic, and even may not speak until they're of a little bit of an older age than the average human. And I just think it's also because their method of communication is through feeling. They are water, they are water body, and this is such new information that has really helped me to understand myself better, because I haven't come across anyone picking up on anything about crystalline water body, and I'm really curious if this will actually resonate with some of you guys who are crystal children, because it definitely made sense for me. It definitely helped me to really piece everything together. And yeah, so anyways, so crystal children, let's see, they go through pretty rigorous training, like I said, to be ready to be incarnated as a crystal child. They're older souls, they've experienced a lot of incarnations, and they're extremely wise because of that. And they also have karma to clear. And those crystal children, some crystal children have more karma to clear than others. The crystal children with a lot of karma to clear, that is like one of their primary soul missions, is to clear their own karma. And that might look differently for different crystals who have a lot of karma. Some might have, I just keep seeing like really kind of intense family dynamics for some crystal children. But yeah, it manifests differently for each crystal child, but there is an element of clearing karma is really important. The crystal children are kind of like the way showers of the emotional healing. They are the emotional way showers, and they're clearing mass amounts of karma on this planet, collective karma, through cleansing the water body of this planet. The crystal children are collectively healing the water body of this planet, and they are uplifting souls. They bring such an upliftment to this planet, but it's so easy for a crystal child to lose their sense of self because they can get so caught up in the memory imprints all around them, and they might be like, well, why can't I be like everybody else? What it is that crystal children need to be centered, they need to be grounded, they really, 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 really need to know their own essence, and to really understand, and not just understand, they need to feel their own true essence, and that is what's going to help them to feel safe and protected in the world. And so when I do this crystal child activation, this extended healing crystal child activation, which you can find the link for down below, that is going to essentially activate your crystalline auric field and awaken your divine essence. One of their struggles is they are living in deep contrast. Crystal children will, because they have a lot of karma, but then they also have crystalline water bodies. It's pretty extreme contrast of emotions, and this is why it takes a very evolved soul to be a crystal child, because they need to be able they need to be able to stand and hold space for the vast amounts of emotions, super high and super low all at once. And that's something that is really special about them, is that they're very emotionally advanced to be able to do that and to be able to do the work that they're doing. But yeah, so this extended healing will be also assisting with that process for the crystal children in clearing their emotional water bodies. I'm actually also getting a vision of making a shorter video. So there's going to be a shorter video and a longer video, and the shorter video will be a video that you can watch daily. And I'm seeing you guys watching, those of you who feel guided to get these little videos. I'm seeing you guys watching an extended, shorter video every day, and that everyday video will be cleansing the memory imprints, and even watching it twice a day, in the morning and the evening. It'll be like 5 minutes, it'll be maybe 10 minutes, but it'll be cleansing the memory imprints. It'll be light language and a transmission. Your guides will be with you, and they'll be assisting in cleansing you of all the memory imprints that are not serving you, and helping to activate that inner essence and create that crystalline aura, that crystalline grid around you. And yes, because it's not that you guys don't, it's like you guys already have the crystalline grid, but there's like this, it's almost like, it's okay, so it's almost like someone's consciousness can be locked into a lower grid, even if they have a crystalline auric field. So what this is doing is this is going to up level you, so that you're clearing all the karma and rising up into a fully crystalline being, and your karma is able to be cleared day by day by day each time you watch the video. There's also going to be a longer video you can watch every week that's going to be more of a deep karma clearing. The one every day is going to be more for like daily clearing, protecting, setting your protection. So I'm also getting the message that it's really important for crystal children to set energetic protection, because crystal children are empaths. They're going to pick up on all the energy, memory, signatures of their environment. And so it's also really important to protect yourself from entity attachments and darker forces, because crystal children can, if they're not fully cleared and fully centered and fully anchored in their own essence, it's easy to get so caught up in all the emotions of their environment. And if there's any beings around them that are perpetuating any sort of emotion, it can make it just difficult to be. So I highly recommend setting protection, especially if you're opening up more and more to the non-physical. Protection is really helpful. Ask your guides to come forward. Ask your guides to protect you from, and be specific on what you want to be protected from. Like, I always like to really state exactly what it is that I want to protect myself from, what I want help with, and then I can just let go and go about my day. And man, it is wonders what asking for protection for our guides can do. I'm actually also going to link below a extended video that is for setting protection, violet flame prayer. Those will also be linked down below if you prefer to just listen to something daily to help you clear your energy and set protection every day. That is also just as powerful. So yeah, I'll link that down below as well. And see if there's any final messages for you guys. It's just really special. It's really special for you to have the crystalline water body. You guys are so important on this planet. Sometimes it can feel like maybe maybe you're not valued as much, but you're so valuable. You're so important. Your mere existence is up leveling the frequency of this planet by so much. You are way showers of emotional healing and paving the way for future generations. And so just like, I guess the other thing is that there's so much on the internet about crystal children being such high vibrational, high frequency beings, but that doesn't mean that crystal children don't have struggles. And that doesn't mean that you are not a crystal child if you consistently have a really hard time, like, with life in general. Crystals, to be a crystal child, there's so much rigorous training because it takes a really strong, really evolved soul to be able to be crystalline, be in this crystalline form. And it's really, really special that that is what you are, and it's really special that you're here and that you're doing the work you're doing just by being. So that is your guys' message. Thank you so much for being here. I am sending you so much love. If you like this video, please like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos for collective videos. I'm kind of just doing whatever flows and what I feel drawn to. I am foreseeing that my channeled messages and readings may turn more towards doing different sorts of collective messages around past lives, and also collective messages for different kinds of star seeds and things like that. So stay tuned for that if you are interested in all of that, and comment below your experiences if you had any special resonance with the things that I shared in this video. I would love to hear it. And I'm sending you so much love, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.